So what I really enjoyed about RC is that it really helps you slow down, and the process is extremely powerful because it helps you become present to the others, present to the whole community, and it teaches us to do the most fundamental thing for human connection, and that is to listen to each other. And the fact that it is the basic premise of RC that the wisdom lies within the community, I think that's beautiful because then it is not facilitator dependent. It is very process dependent. And I strongly believe that this is a process which should be taught to every family, every organization, because it is powerful. Yeah.
This has been an extremely powerful workshop and process that evolved. And I, as a process worker, always believed in the power of process, and I always trusted process. But here, this took me to another level where the role of the facilitator is very limited. But the process is so powerful that the group owns the process. So that was beautiful to see happening in the past 3 days. For me, RC is in many ways restores the balance within me and the system in which I am.
An intense learning experience for me in terms of what listening really means. And when one suspends judgment and deeply listens to another person, then what was earlier a point of conflict, we realize that there are so many perspectives, and it is possible to empathize better. I think this is what I would say. The second thing that I've realized is that it is so simple to make peace, and all you have to do is to listen to what the other person is saying before wanting to respond back. And it is the easiness of the process and yet the power of it, the magic of creating that bond, which has touched me the most. Um, and I think if families were to do it, then what was written in the beginning of the book, that sitting down to a conflict should be like sitting down to a meal, would really it would become like that, and we would not avoid conflicts, but would really change poison into medicine and become better friends and make a happier world.
Yeah, so the workshop was it was a very intense and very meaningful experience for me. What really I really loved is it's very process driven, and you don't have to have a very huge expertise to run it. And the simplicity and the profound impact it can create in the family, in the community, in the world over. So I really love it. Uh, Another thing, what my specific takeaway is a strong value of belief in non-violence. Now it has also given me now the tool to, particularly in terms of justice, and particularly in terms of how to resolve conflict in a much more meaningful, easy, and powerful way to bring well-being of the world, and personally for my life also. That,
Workshop for me was an eye opener in its simplicity and the impact that it can have. And for me, the takeaway is more about listening out, before responding. That's one thing that I'm taking, and the ability to allow conflict to just emerge and take care of itself without being afraid what will happen, because the exercise we did with the ISABS team is a clear illustration that conflict brings out the best in all of us. And for me, the the facilitator is just fantastic.
I think my own faith in the restorative circle has got further affirmed, and and that the group came together and were able to really look at some of the very tough kind of issues in a very creative and loving ways. To me, that's the biggest satisfaction. And the takeaway is really that even when there are very strong factions, but this is a process can actually unwind the knots that are there because of the pauses and its simplicity. It's that kind of a process. I see this being a possibility of building a new universe and world. With so much of violence happening, this could be one of the easier and deeper way of making connections between people who have conflicts.
For me, RC was a wonderful system where it kind of helped the group to trust and move forward. And the essence, what it left is so much of restoring of relations. In spite of all the noise, restoring relations, and its beautiful way transforming people in the process. So, which enriched people to live with a hope that RC helps them in every field. And then, there's something everyone takes away from when you are in the RC. And for me, the takeaway is how to deal with the situations around me, um, more focus on people behind the scenes. Be sensitive and see from where they're coming, and then my sensitivity it also blooms in understanding the situation. And I think you should embrace the system of RC, which deals with your native intelligence, how you deal with conflicts in your houses. So it is just start from the house, and you can change the world.
Has been a renewed love affair. What I really love about RC is that there's so much packed into so little, and therefore I feel that there is a huge risk, and being vulnerable is part of the story. I would liken it to running or walking in the rain, trying to get away from the rain, but at the end of it, you do see the rainbow. And that's what RC has magically opened for me in the last 3 days. RC is also about restoring community hassles, which I feel a lot about because it's so real in our society today. And we need more and more and more RC circles, restorative circles, to see that relationships, the quality of relationships, the trust that sometimes gets corroded by media or by movies or the society at large, it can be restored. And that's what I really love about RC.